I was even going to say like
Yeah, something happened.
something happened.
No, it's still recording.
Yeah.
I think it was just the power saver.
Okay.
Yeah.
So sorry, I lost part of that.
That's all right.
I was even going to contribute into that. I'm a businessman. I deal with the custom officers and everything. So when it comes to that, the government hire people to work at the port. So they know what is good and they know what is bad. So when things are coming in, they need to inspect it. So when you look at things, if I'm bringing something that can pollute the environment, or if I'm bringing something that can bring the country down, they will not allow it. They seize people's fridges, they seize a lot of things from people, so people they are not being allowed to get in. Yes, they have people working at the port, which they need to stop people bringing things like they are not allowed to bring.
Okay. Agbogbloshie is it close to the center of Accra or is it far out in the woods?
No, it's close to the central. Actually, it's part of the center of Accra.
Okay, but how far is it from the port?
It's quite far. The port is not in Accra.
It's in Tema.
The port is in the next city called Tema. So to get stuff from the port to the central Accra area, you're gonna have to use some sort of trucking, some sort of trailer or some sort of truck. Yeah.
Yeah, and we have something called weight bill. So any police that stop you, you have to show it to them that the government authorized you. The government allow you to bring it in. That's what we call weight bill. So it indicate that we are being paid for duty and everything in order to get it out. Yeah.
Okay, you know the name Mike Anane.
Oh yeah, I do.
Okay, I've seen an interview. He says that 500 containers per month of junk electronics come into Tema.
that one I would say I don't think it's true. It's simple because if 500 containers, yes, I could say that. But when it comes to like junk, no, I don't think it's possible because, like I said before, the government have workers over there, and they inspect the goods, make sure that nothing like junk comes in. So I don't think it's the truth.
Yeah,
I just making up the numbers.
Yeah, like I said, I agree with you. It may be 500 sea container loads coming into the port every day. Yeah, those include cars and stuff like that. Fine, but nobody, no sane person is gonna have to buy junk, pay for shipping in the United States or pay for shipping in Europe or pay for shipping anywhere else in the world, pay tax and put it on a ship, pay for all that, come to the port in Tema, pay for all that, and all he has in his sea container is junk. Nobody's gonna do that. Not even Bill Gates will do that. So I'm sorry, but I disagree with Mike and on that figure.
500.
He needs to come up with some more proof that that 500 sea containers containing junk are imported into Ghana. He's got to come up with
even if he has to look at his numbers. Simply when he said 500 containers doesn't mean that they open 500 containers every day or they will open 500 containers in a month. Some containers are there for more than 6 months, and the government will end up seizing it because they don't have money to pay for the duty. So when it comes to that, it's not about 500 containers come in like every month and most of it are junk. No, that's not the truth. I don't know where he's getting his numbers from, but when it comes to that, I'm a businessman. I know what I do, and at the same time, I'm into business to make money in order to pay my own bills. So I will never send things like 80% are junk. No, it's not true.
Is it true that Mr. Anane charges speaker fees to give these interviews?
That's very true. He
That's very true.
He charges a lot of money to get on those videos and to take people around.
So if there isn't an emergency,
No, I don't know.
Who is going to pay him if it isn't an emergency?
And I will guarantee and I'll promise maybe one day he might watch this video. I guarantee and I'll bet him whatever he can to come and open my container and see like if 80% is junk. I'll bet anything that he could put down so that we could bet and see if we open and we go through with everything of mine and see if they are not working or they are working.
So is that a challenge that you challenge Mike and Nane to meet your containers?
I'm feeling like I'm just trying for them to stop exaggerating things, numbers. I don't know where they're getting the numbers from. But with dealing with me, I would think he should come, then we open a container, one of my containers, and see if it's junk or not.
And you bring these containers up to Tamale, right?
Yeah, both in Accra and Tamale.
And has Mr. Anane ever met any of your repair technicians?
No, never. And he does it like Emmanuel said, he does it and make money. So he doesn't do it for like to help the country or to help the nation. He just do it for income to also support his family maybe. I don't know.
I think that is the problem. The problem is when you live off the storyline. It will be hard for you to change it because if it changes, nobody's gonna come to Mr. Nani to pay him to take him around, and so he may not be willing to change his storyline. But here is the challenge: Mr. Nani should just meet up with Wahab and inspect his containers and see what he does and meet so many other people like Wahab who are from Ghana and get to know people and see what really the trade is than just walking into Agbogbloshie where everybody knows that so many other things end up there, like cars, like anything ends up there.
Before we even gain independence, there's a lot of cars there that
Yeah, so Mr. Nani should reconsider his statistics and come back with some good proof.
Even when it comes to that, he actually brings a bad name of the government because if the government is running the country, the government knows what is right and what is not right. If the government knows that we bring 80% of junk to Ghana, the government itself will stop the usage electronics and they accept it. And I pay them duty, I pay them everything to receive my goods. So I don't think he knows what he's talking about. He's just making up the numbers to make a living out of that.
Okay, if you bring if about 700 televisions fit in a sea container, how much would it cost you to buy the televisions and ship the sea container?
The sea container, when you're sending a container with loading and renting the container and everything costs like $5,000. So when it comes to the TVs and everything, it depends how much you pay for it. If you're paying for it, like for example, each TV pay for $100 each TV. Calculate $100 times 700. That's a lot of money. So why would I just throw it in the river or something like that? So it costs a lot. When it comes to Ghana, you pay duty, and the duty costs too a lot before you can even bring it out. So when it comes to that, no, I will never just I'm not a Bill Gates or the most richest man in this world, whereby I could just throw money anyhow.
How much copper? How much is the copper worth? You think that's inside one TV?
I don't know. I don't know. It may be maybe $1. Maybe $1 or more. Yeah, because if someone is gonna fill up a container full of TVs and he has paid let me just say he has paid $50 a piece for those TVs or let's say $40 a piece for those TVs. I don't know the exact amount. Let's say that. And the copper wire for that is in that TV is worth just $1. Why would he put the whole thing in a container and bring it to and pay $5,000 to just load it up in US or in the European Union and come to Ghana and pay almost $10,000 in taxes and fees and pay customs agents fees and pay for tracking and bring it to Agbogbloshie and have people cut and burn it and for $1 a TV. I don't know how that happens. I still don't. I can't wrap my mind around it.
It's something like people making up. I think that need to be stopped. You know, and Ghana, we have a good reputation. We don't actually. I personally, I don't actually buy whatever they're talking about dumping 80% used electronics to Ghana. No, it's not true.
Do you know the Basel Action Network?
Yeah.
Tell me what you know about Basel Action Network.
Well, I know it's being led by Mr. Jim Packett. I met him a couple times actually, and I know they have their convention for international trade about e-waste, and I also know that Ghana is a signatory to that treaty.
And they should stop bringing Ghana down. It's not good. It's not good for us. And if you're setting up anything regards to Ghana, you need to talk to the right people about that. Like, try and travel to Ghana and see what is going on. It's better than staying wherever you are than trying to condemn what is going on in Ghana. So whatever you guys getting the information from, you need to make more research.
Yeah,
I the truth.
Yeah, I also think the Basel Action Network has produced a lot of videos and articles and papers about Agbogbloshie, and all of the papers I've read and all the videos I've seen has been very negative and very far away from the realities on the ground. So those are the things I know about them. I don't think they have the facts, or I don't know. Otherwise, I don't know if they just don't want to work more to acquire the fact, or they're just trying to go a certain way for to expect certain outcomes.
Would it surprise you? I got their tax forms that they make about $1 million a year.
Wow! Even $1 million that they're talking about imagine like they have 5 people making it $1 million a year. $5 million, that's $5 million over there. Don't you think $5 million can help people to set up a lot of things in Agbogbloshie in order to help them, not to talk about it?
I think that they have made a lot of money selling poor young people, poor black people in Ghana, and usually they promise a lot of stuff that they want to do to help the people there, but they never spend $1 of that amount you just mentioned, $1 million on anybody, not even the youngest they have ever exploited, if I can use that word. They've never helped anybody, not even $1. They've not spent even $1 in Agbogbloshie to help any of these kids to get better jobs, to get better living conditions, and to prevent them from going back there to burn copper wires.
Even when I was there last week, when the guy that I was speaking to, I even feel bad, and I gave them money to buy water and all that, and they told me how much money they make there. I mean, how could you use people like them to make money?
How much do they make a day?
They 2 Ghana a day.
Two Ghana
less than $1.
Less than $1 a day.
A day. And you're making like $1 million. You're not even thinking about helping to better them. You only what you think of is to make more $1 million every year, and which is not fair. At least we need to help them. And one of them even walks to me and asks me that if I have a job, he will be willing to leave there and come and work for me. So that kind of things that we need. And then I'm looking forward to get him something to do in order to go back to the north. And they're all coming from north, mostly. Out of 100%, 99% are from north. Simply because there is no jobs around there. So, and they need to make a living. That's why they are in Accra, working in Agbogbloshie.
Can you tell me about charcoal?
Charcoal is like in the northern region of the country, they cut trees down most of the times. Or not more, even most of the time, they cut trees down and then bury it. Then they burn it and bury it. And maybe 2-3 days time, they will come and dig it out again and turn it to charcoal so that they can use it to cook.
And they sell that for wood, for stove fuel.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah, and at the same time, it's like charcoal is like in this country, the only people that can use gas to cook is like maybe I would say 20% or 30% of the population, and the rest are using charcoal.
So why would the young men in Agbogbloshie change from burning wood for charcoal in the north to come down to the city to burn wires?
I mean, when you look at things, most of them like the city life, and at the same time, when you look at things, staying there to burn out the charcoal and all that, they will burn all our trees. So I think, and the charcoal, buying the charcoal is not like when we talk about 20-30 years ago, it was a good business. But nowadays, it's like every day less people using charcoal, so it's not about. I mean, I could say that it's a good business, but when it comes to these days, it's going down every day.
Well, I think it's not only about burning wire. And I don't think this young man left the north of Ghana to come to Accra to burn wires. That is not why they are in Accra.
That's an available job for them.
They are in Accra for the best schools because everything is in the south. They have the best schools. It's just like in the United States, you are up north of New York, and you want to be in the action, so you move closer to New York City. That's what it is. So they leave the north of Ghana, come to the south for the better schools, for pipe-borne water. They want to have a house with clean water.
Mm-hmm.
They want to go to the cinema. They want to go to the theater to go watch live events. They want to do everything. They want to do all that is available in the city.
Yeah.
The problem is they come to the city and they don't get good jobs. Not even good jobs. They don't even get jobs. So when you don't have jobs and you have to feed yourself and you probably have a sibling you have to take care of, and you see that opportunity, it just pulls them closer to it. That's why they are here. So most of them, I'm very sure the ones I've spoken with will quit that job today if they will have a good job tomorrow.
Yeah, and at the same time, let me set an example for somebody like me. And when I was in Ghana, back in 2000, I went to US for good opportunity. So it's the same as then. Maybe my family was somehow okay, then they sent me to school and all that. But when it comes to them, they have nothing. So all they think about coming to the city to make better life. So it's the same as me going to US to make better life for myself.
Okay. Talking about bad jobs. In America, when people think of a bad job, they think of street sweeper or dishwasher. I want to have a contest. Each of you, we will try to find 10 bad jobs in Ghana or in Africa. And whoever can think of, so take turns. So Emmanuel, you start. Name a bad job in Africa.
Well, a bad job. You can be a game hunter. You can kill wildlife. Just go to the reserve and shoot animals, elephants, anything you see. You kill them. Sell the horns for something. That is a bad job.
Yeah, I completely agree with Emmanuel. When you look at bad jobs in Ghana, I mean, people like Agbogbloshie. I'm not saying that it's bad job, but when it comes to how much money they getting paid, it's not reasonable and it's not good for them. And when it comes to the North, the only things that North we classify as bad job, we have something called Kayayu. Kayayu means like when you buy something, you go down to the person and ask the person, hey, can I carry it to your car, then you could pay me? We don't call it a job. It's like you're helping the person in order to get money to make a living or to buy food. So it's something like that I call it bad job.
Well, you can also be a child trafficker.
Mm-hmm.
You can there are people, it exists. It's a bad job. People do that, and you can be that.
And abuse, sending your 10-year-old with pure water, carrying it goes to cars, yes, pure water, it's a bad job. You're training the kid in a bad way, simply because the kid need to be in school. Maybe the family doesn't have money to afford for them to go back to school, so it's a bad job.
You can be an armed robber.
Yeah, he can be an armed robber.
You can have a gun.
Because selling pure water, which costs less than $1 in the case, then you're sending the kid to make $3.50. It's not enough. So it's a bad job.
Yeah. One more. You can be you can hurt animals and usually they go graze on in people's farm, destroy their crops.
Destroy.
It's a bad job.
And farming is great when the food is ready. So, but when it comes to going to farm, it's hard job. It's hard job, but pay less. It's a bad job.
Yeah. There's so many jobs.
There's so many jobs. The only people that makes money in Ghana is when it comes to business, and at the same time, even though the government to pay what best they can, and more investors are more paying good than anything like NGOs and all that.
Repairing computers, is that on your list of bad jobs?
No,
Definitely not.
nah,
Definitely
I don't
not.
think so, because I could fix people comes in replacing screen, and they charge 20, 30 Ghana, 40 Ghana to fix it. So it's a good job. And at the same time, when it comes to repairs, people enjoy doing that because they're able to help the person to get the person running again. If you depend on your laptop, which is not working, then you send it to repairs and they fix it for you, then you're back in business again. So it's a good job.
Yeah, it's a very good job and it's highly respected because people's lives are alarmingly, being,